Hi, Humble Nation. I'm Nathaniel, and this is what you need to know today. So we got lots of exciting things to talk about, but before we go any further, I have to tell you, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a stockbroker. I'm just a guy who likes to trade stocks. I am big on Humble. Everything I talk about in this channel are my own thoughts and opinions. If you need a professional, please go seek out somebody who is. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, we had like 3 announcements that came out today, and I'm excited to tell you about them. So first of all, Gabby Thomas, who's an Olympian in track and field, is now going to be representing Humbl in the coming year. So very excited to hear about that news because we have somebody who obviously travels around the world. She has a large audience of people that follow her. She has her own following of people. So they're going to be seeing what's this person that she's representing. And you know, a lot of times these athletes, they're surrounded with affluential people, right? People that have money, you know, and so forth. And so in any case, she's going to be representing the brand Humbl in the coming year. So this is really good news. I mean, we have an Olympian athlete that's going to be doing that. So that's the first thing. And by the way, Gabby Thomas texted back, or not texted, but she Twittered back saying, I'm excited to join the Humbl team. So just another thing about Gabby Thomas before we move on to our next topic. The thing is that Gabby Thomas is the second fastest runner in the world. And besides that, if she wins second, third, or first, which would be great, right? The thing is she has an opportunity not only to represent the Humbl brand, but also to become an NFT for the Olympics. She could be the first Olympian to have an NFT. Pretty cool, huh? I wonder how many millions that might go for. So the thing is that when she does it, there's probably going to be a lot of other Olympians that are going to follow suit after Gabby Thomas. So we'll have to stay tuned and see where that goes. Next thing we got, Brian Foote had already, tweeted this out before, but now this is like an official press release. These different individuals that have partnered up with Humbl, they're going to be assisting, obviously, the Humbl brand to move into these markets and to make these deals and so forth. So they're strategic partners. They're going to be helping out. And so one of these we have is David Dunn, which is a sports and ticketing entertainment guru, you might say. He does deals, right? He closes big deals. He's done $4 billion deals for the sports and the NFL realm. Next, we got Rob Luna, who's, we've been talking to him a lot lately. He's a financial strategy and media communications person. You can also find him on Charles Payne on Fox News Business. And obviously he does, if you didn't know, takes care of wealth. He's a wealth management person. So if you have like $25 million, I think it was $5 or $25 million worth of net income, high net worth people, he helps to manage their money so they don't lose it, right? They can invest it and make more money with it and have generational wealth, which is likely what some of you folks are trying to do as well, right? And then we got Rick Fox. He's a sports and ticketing distribution channel person. And then the next one, we got Nick Carter, music and ticketing entertainment. We all know who Nick Carter is, right? So he's going to be helping out with that. We got Ernie Hayon. He's in the real estate and venue management and ticketing. So I think this is going to be a really good vertical for Humbl, the real estate aspect with rentals and, everything. I think they're right on about millennials and everything not wanting to stay at hotels, but rather staying at unique places. So I think they're spot on with that. I said it in my last video, my wife and I, when we travel, and we do travel, we like to stay in unique places that are unique to that country that we're staying at to get that local feel and flavor. Not to mention, look, any investment person will probably tell you, having real estate and owning real estate is a great way to create a lifelong residual income, right? Because this money coming in from a rental property, and then that property also increases in value. But they're also tying that in with the NFTs. So several people can own one property. So kind of like a timeshare, right? So anyways, I'm sure we're going to get a lot more information about the NFT, how that's going to work. But the real estate basically is the deal in the coming months. So we'll talk about that more later. But anyways, we got somebody who's an expert in that space. I'll post this article so you can read it yourself. I would advise you to take a look at the whole thing, read it all through. Because if you're new to Humbl, if you're just watching my channel for the first time, you want to have all the information before you make any investments. I'm invested in Humbl, but this is not financial advice, so you want to do your own research. I want to go ahead and also mention that they did close the deals on Monster Creative as well, so that's a done deal now. They now own that company. And Monster Creative is still going to be working in the same field that they work in now. So that's going to be additional revenue that Humbl now is going to be receiving. So however many millions of dollars that they do every year, that's also going to be on the books for Humbl. So just a side note. Now, how about these 100 million preferred shares, or $100 million worth of preferred shares that Brian Foote made a tweet out about today, but also a press release. So what does this mean? Well, the $100 million worth of shares were basically Brian making good on his promise to use his shares to purchase these businesses. What businesses are we talking about? We're talking about Tickery, Monster Creative, Athletes First. Plus, Brian Foote is planning on he's looking right now for another acquisition in the ticketing space. So we'll have to wait to see what he's got in mind for that. But what we do know is that he's using his own preferred shares in order to make all these acquisitions and not diluting any other shareholders' value, not diluting them and putting them into to our shares as investors, thus diluting our shares. So he's got that all set up there, but it's not a direct $100 million worth of shares, but rather it's being used, those shares are being used for the purchases of these other companies. So hopefully that's clear for everybody. In any case, I just want to bring that information to your attention, and make sure you read the article, the press release that Humbl put out. So this should give a lot of people a lot more confidence if you were lacking confidence in what Brian and his team are doing. And you know what? They got so many things they got going on over there. With all these partnerships, one of the things that Brian said about all these strategic partnerships and these new people that they brought on, they're opening doors to new opportunities. I mean, think of the doors that are going to be open just with Gabby Thomas, an Olympian athlete. She knows people, I'm sure. And so this thing is going to really take off. And Brian and his team, they know what they have. They know what they wouldn't go through all this, and they wouldn't have all these people that are willing to get on board. Somebody who's probably used to making millions and millions of dollars every year, and jump on board with Humbl for it to be a scam or something. That's just not the case. And there's a lot of you guys. A lot of you are already invested in Humbl, and you guys are smart for doing that because you see the opportunity, you see where Humbl is going, you see the vision, and you're a visionary in a sense, right? A lot of you might have even been invested in Tesla, towards the beginning, or if you didn't, you probably wish you had, right? Or Amazon, or Google, or Apple, right? These are all, and Brian Foote has likened himself, or the company Humbl, he always put those up with these other companies, right? So he sees them, Humbl, as being the Apple, as being the Google, as being the Amazon, right? And so that's a big statement. It's very bold. And anytime he talks about NFTs or anything, he always has like a little grin or smile on his face. He knows what they have. And we don't know really what they have. And only Rob Luna and the people that work there that have non-disclosure agreements signed know the real deal. So lots of things going to be happening. Obviously, we got the ambassadors are going to be starting to roll out here. That was announced, and they're going to be going out and knocking banging the pavement, so to speak, to get merchants signed up. So all these things are happening, and I'm looking forward to what the next announcement is going to be, because I don't even know what it's going to be. So that's exciting in itself. Plus, we're going to be getting an update on the ETX soon. They have an update coming for that with the ETX. And he said that we're going to like the new update. It's going to be a big update. So also looking forward to that update as well. Anyways, I'm Nathaniel, and this is what you needed to know today.